Hello everyone. Today we're going to make a reaction to Geography Now Greece. Today we'll be learning about my neighbor, Greece. Yes, Greece does border Bulgaria. So let's just read the description and let's just begin.
You're the one that I want. You're the
Well,
one I want. You're the one I want. You get my reference,
yes,
right? You get it?
yes,
I'm so clever,
yes,
right? Do you get
yes,
my
yes.
reference?
Okay, let's learn. Let's learn about Greece.
Everybody, I'm
Alright
gonna
then.
warn you. Greece is sometimes seen as like the cradle and birthplace
Alright.
of European civilization.
Alright then.
So much of everything you see today has some kind of correlation to Greece.
Well, alright then, let's learn about it.
Now let's find out how it all went down.
Let's learn about political.
So let's just jump in.
Alright.
Greece is located in the
I
southernmost
see.
part of the Balkan Peninsula that stretches into the Ionian,
I see.
Mediterranean,
Okay.
and Aegean seas, bordered by 4 countries in the north
Even
and
my
east. The country is
homeland.
divided into 13 regions, one autonomous state that we'll talk about later, and the capital Athens, one of the oldest capitals in the world where nearly 40% of the entire population lives. Now, despite the administrative makeup, Greece is generally divided into 9 geographic regions.
Alright
Greece,
then.
Macedonia,
Mas-
confused with this place,
let's not talk about that.
Sicily, Epirus, Central Greece, the Ionian
Alright, we have Macedonia.
and Crete.
Great. Alright. Alright then, let's learn about this country. Well, Greece is very beautiful and it's one of the oldest countries in Europe.
And at any given point in Greece, you are no more than 85 miles or 137 kilometers from
Well, there's also Egypt, but Egypt is not in Europe. No, it's not. It's San Marino. Well,
in fact, the only 2 significant islands belonging to Turkey in the Aegean are Imbros,
Imbros,
and Tenedos or Bozcaada.
Tenedos.
The Peloponnesian Peninsula is not an
All
island.
right.
It's actually just barely connected by the Corinthian Isthmus
All
in the
right.
city of Corinth, which has a huge
I don't want to argue with an AI on the internet so about who is the oldest country in Europe. Well, Bulgaria is also another oldest country. Okay, let's focus on the video. Alright then. Alright.
But some things are still left in a gray zone with the only land dispute they have over these 2 small scraps of land, the Imia or Kardak Island. Finally, let's talk about the one autonomous state.
Alright then.
This little guy right here, the 3rd finger on the weird monster claw-looking peninsula? Well, that peninsula is called Halkidiki, and the 3rd finger is Mount Athos. With a population of only about 2,000,
sorry.
Mount Athos, or Holy Mountain, is interesting because it's an isolated monastic state completely run by monks and priests. Getting in is a little tough. The number of daily visitors is restricted, you have to have a special permit, and you have to be a dude. No women allowed. Although historically some women have either accidentally or intentionally got in, including this former Greek beauty pageant winner. She dressed up as a man and snuck in. The 3 largest cities are, of course, Athens, the capital,
this will be the thumbnail. Athens.
However, the 3 largest and busiest airports are Athens, Heraklion on Crete, and then Thessaloniki coming in at 3rd.
Okay.
Each inhabited island in Greece kind of has
Alright then.
charm. Of course, there are too many things to list, but a few to consider might be things
Alright
like
then.
Corfu being the most friendly island. Delos is known for being the
Delos.
legendary birthplace of Apollo. Skyros and Hydra
Skyros and Hydra.
Islands where more people use mules than cars. Rhodes once held the Colossus, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Caria once tried to become its own country at one point in time. Naxos and Paros are known for being windy islands, great for sailing and water sports. Santorini with its ridiculously picturesque cliffside white marble villas. And Patmos, the incredibly significant religious site in which Jesus' disciple John was exiled and wrote the book of Revelation. Speaking of which, Greece has more archaeological sites per capita than any other country in the world, only ranks behind a few other countries like Turkey and Mexico.
Turkey and Mexico. Okay.
Now, we all know Greece is a tourist hotspot.
Alright.
Like France, more tourists than the entire population of Greece visit Greece every single year. Now, we all know about the Acropolis and the Parthenon, but other cool sites that stick out include the Meteora Pillar Cliff Monasteries, the Necromantion of Ephyra, the Oracle of Delphi, St. Theodore's Chapel with 17 oak trees sprouting with no visible evidence of roots, the sculpted face on the shore of Nisi, the Chios former leper colony buildings, the Palace of the Grand Master of the Knights of Rhodes, and of course hundreds and hundreds of other sites. There are too many to list, and if you know of any, please write them down in the comments below and share. In the meantime, we gotta get down to the foundations of the country. The land.
The land. Let's learn about physical geography.
Old Greek saying, when God made the world, he took the leftover rocks, threw them behind his shoulder. That's how Greece was made. I kind of paraphrase that a little bit. Don't quote me on it. Too late. It's a quote now.
It's a quote now.
Now, Greece is funny because land-wise, they don't exactly score high on the soil performance index, and overland transportation is an issue. But when you pretty much dominate the maritime trading sector, you can
honestly, I don't know what to say much.
Wait till we get to the Israel episode.
Okay, let's not talk about Israel. Okay, let's learn about. mountainous.
Balkan region and the islands. Two main mountain chains form along the Balkan
Okay.
the Pindus in the west and the Rhodopes in the northeast, Macedonia and Thrace regions. Right around the area where Thessaly meets Macedonia, you find Mount Olympus, the tallest mountain in Greece, notable for being the legendary home of the ancient Greek gods. Now, with the exception of small boats and canoes, almost all the rivers in Greece are non-navigable as they're too shallow. Nonetheless, the largest river, Aliakmonos, flows from the Pindus range and eventually empties into the Thermaic Gulf right by the monsoon claw. Also, Trihonida, the largest lake, can be found in the south central. Beautiful, right? Well, it comes at a cost. Greece is one of the most seismically active countries in the world as it lies on two major tectonic plate zones, the North Anatolian Fault and the Hellenic Trench.
Okay, let's not talk about earthquakes. I respect the Greek people, so...
Turkey just kind of takes the biggest hits. Greece gets about 250 days
Well,
of pure sunshine a year. 70% of the world's marble mines are found in Greece, and they're also the third largest olive oil producer. Speaking of which, if you've never had Greek food, you are not allowed to die until you do. Popular dishes like moussaka, spanakopita, the classic Greek salad.
Greek salad looks tasty.
Not that cheap, sleazy stuff down 14th Street in which half the
Okay, sorry for my finger. Alright then.
4% of their economic output. Most of the revenue at over 80% comes from tourism and service jobs. Otherwise, some notable spots in nature would be places like the Vikos Gorge, the Sami Cave in Cephalonia, the Siri Culture Blue Eye Spring, volcanic rocks of Lemnos, Neda Waterfalls, Zar Hot Springs, and so much more. In a nutshell, Greece is like a rocky, rugged seafaring.
Okay, Greece, well, Greece and Egypt share a lot of common. Okay, let's learn about geography.
Winston Churchill once said, Greeks don't fight like heroes. Heroes fight like Greeks.
Okay, let's...
Greece has about 11 million people and has one of the highest aging populations.
Okay, let's...
The vast majority of the country, at about 93%, are made up of ethnic Greeks, and 7% are mostly made
Albanians,
like Albanians, Gypsies, and Turks. They use the type C and F.
Alright then.
They use the euro as their currency, although prior to the euro, they used the drachma, which was the oldest consistently used currency in the world, and they drive on the right
side of the world, like the other countries, except for UK, Japan, India, Australia. Alright then. It's really too long. Well, I can learn about the Wikipedia about this. Alexander the Great was Greek.
Dude, he was Greek. No, he's not Greek. Yes, he was. How many times? Then there was classical Greece, Roman Greece, Byzantine Greece, Ottoman Greece, and then finally a revolution led by this guy in 1821 that started the modern version of Greece that we have today. Thanks to Alexander the Great, multiple regions on 3 continents,
Iran,
some form of
Egypt,
the influence of Greek culture and language, and it went all the way down into the Byzantine era. This means at one point in time, even black Africans were speaking Greek, or at least the ancient Koine Greek language. It became so widespread that almost every language in Europe invokes some kind of Greek origin in certain vocabulary. For example, in English, we have academy, telephone, grammar, and even geography. Not only that, but Greek has, in one way or another, been spoken for over 3,000 years, making it possibly the oldest consistently spoken and written language in the world.
I haven't learned about Greek. There's Chinese, Mandarin. Let's not talk about China.
Myth, wars, warriors, trade, alliances, gods, beasts, Sparta, sculpture, arts, leaders, philosophers, games, and interesting clothing options. Well, that'll take too long, and we gotta get through this episode. About 90% of the people in Greece are to Christianity, mostly in the Eastern Orthodox.
I'm Orthodox too.
Other countries in the Slavic world. If you've ever met a Greek person, you'll know that most of them definitely have a unique way of carrying themselves. Many of you Greek geographers, or as I like to call Greeks, have told me that the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding is actually kind of a pretty accurate representation of a typical Greek family upbringing. A little exaggerated, but nonetheless not far off. Big families with strong, opinionated parents that you do not talk back to. There's always like a weird grandma mumbling something about the Turks, and one of the cousins is probably lighting something on fire as your brother is getting into a fight. But when grandma brings in the souvlaki and everyone sits down and it's like
so this is a movie or something? I just don't know.
Was that in the ballpark? So anyway,
voting is required. Voting is different.
Conscription for men ages 16. Yeah, that's right. 16. They get them while they're
young.
5 for a minimum of 9 months in service. Many people celebrate name day, in which they have a party on the day that pertains to the patron saint that they got their name from. Land is kind of limited, so to save space, many of the dead have their bodies exhumed after 5 years of being buried, and then the bones bones are washed in wine and then placed in an ossuary. Retirement homes are incredibly rare, as most Greek grandparents typically end up living in their children's homes. Traditional music can be found everywhere. You'll probably hear a lot of lutes, mandolins, and tambourines. Traditional dances are alive and well. They all usually incorporate some kind of group number with fast-paced movements and jumping actions. Oh, and old guys smoking while playing backgammon. There's always old guys smoking and playing backgammon. Avoid the offensive mutsa hands. And just like we studied in the Estonia episode, Greece has an influx of women, like a lot. Somewhere around 65%
65%.
This may or may not be the reason why Greece is also the world's most, how can I put this in a non-crude and vulgar phrase?
Family-friendly way.
Greece is the most hey
Hey.
country in the world. They even beat Brazil.
Brazil.
Interestingly enough, Greece also has the lowest divorce rate in the EU as well. Speaking of that, okay, let's talk about some numbers. Brutal, sometimes image tarnishing numbers. Let's just address the elephant in the room and get it over with, okay? Yes, Greece is in a little bit of an economic pickle right now. Basically, in a nutshell, back in 2001, Greece joined the EU.
Alpha 19 on. Oh wait, that was NATO. I don't know. I just forgot.
Memorandum, and now the current generation is paying for all the fiscally irresponsible actions the previous one made, with things like hiked taxes as well as salary and pension cuts. You know, son, back in my day.
Alright then.
Back in your day, you ruined my day. Greece also has the highest unemployment rate in the EU as well, with nearly a quarter of the population seeking jobs. Nonetheless, as depressing as that sounds, Greece actually interested.
Alright, sorry then. That was a sensitive topic. Well, alright then.
Steam engine, central heating, and technically the first robot concepts like citizenship, early democracy, atom theory, various fields of mathematics like geometry, advancements in disease study and medicine, philosophy, theater, dynamic sculpture and art, written history, trial by jury, and of course the Olympics. Notable
The Olympics.
probably include Eratosthenes,
Also, Greece invented democracy, so
Pythagoras, Euclid, Archimedes, and Apollonius, Herodotus, and also
Don't say it, Alexander. No.
Alexander the Great.
Yes. I'm gonna say he is Greek. Yes, he is.
modern contemporaries like Konstantinos
Excuse me?
Karatheodoros, taught Einstein, singer Nana Mouskouri, the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip. Yep, he's actually half Greek. Tommy Lee, Yanni, soccer players Georgios Samaras, Georgios Karayunas, Konstantinos Mitroglou. This crazy guy who ran like 1,000 miles in 11 days. Queen Sofia of Spain, and of course, America's Greek sweetheart, John Stamos. Don't even try to get on this list. Okay, friend time.
Okay, let's learn about friend zone.
Greece is really old. Like, whoa, really old. They've planted so many shifting diplomatic ties throughout the millennium that
Well,
it's
alright then.
ridiculous. In a nutshell, though, they generally get along pretty well with other Orthodox countries, mostly in Eastern Europe, as theology and doctrine have always tied
Well,
them one way or
Greek-
another.
Greece is
Of those
its
Orthodox
own
countries,
country.
Serbia is
It's a
probably hands down the
non-Slavic.
closest childhood friend. Serbians are like the next door neighbor
Serbia.
that they grew up with, asking if Greece could come over.
Let's not talk about right there. Sorry for my finger.
Greeks love the Spanish and Italians almost as much.
Spain,
Each country
Italy,
shares a similar Mediterranean
It-
seafaring culture that has
Italy.
historically tied them for thousands of years, although each claim that they have the best olive oil. Greeks have even adopted certain Italian words in their vernacular, like una fazza, una razza, one face, one race. And as mentioned before, Armenia is kind
Armenia.
of like the exotic apostolic girlfriend they've been dating
Well-
since like the 3rd century AD. Turkey is kind of like the whole Japan-South Korea thing. Drama because, you know, Ottoman times. But they love to visit and piggyback off of each other's cultures. Today, there is virtually no tension between everyday citizens. They've moved on, mostly. And sometimes it's even hard to distinguish a Greek person from
Well-
a Turk just by looking at them. But make sure you do not make the mistake of mislabeling them. That's a huge no-no. When
Well-
it comes to their best friend, though, almost every geographer Greek told me Cyprus. Many Greeks don't
Cyprus.
even really see Cyprus
Well,
as a separate
Bulgaria
country, but
is
rather
also
just an extension of Greece. They
friends
love their
with
little
Greece.
brothers with funny accents and would do anything for them. In conclusion, modern-day Greece may only make up about 132,000 square kilometers,
Well,
but has been the standard source of inspiration for so much of the Western world. The fact is, today, you can look around and see how much of our modern society has been in some way, shape, or form molded by something Greek. Kudos to you,
Alright then.
Greece. By the way, kudos is a Greek word. Stay tuned. Grenade.
Goodbye.